All right, guys, today is March the 16th, 2022. We're looking at pie chart. This says a pie chart is a circular statistical diagram in which the magnitude of statistical data is represented by sectors of the circle. The size of the sector angle is proportional to the magnitude of the quantity being represented. All right, so the sector angle is proportional to the magnitude of the quantity being represented. All right, so let's have a look at our first example. Example 12 says, the pie chart below illustrates the results of a survey among 160 students in which they were asked to select their favorite fruit from a list. So this says A, calculate the size of X. So to do that, we have to first look at the pie chart. So here's our pie chart, and this pie chart, the entire thing is representing 160 students. The first thing we're asked to do is to calculate the value of X. We're asked to calculate the value of X. All right, so let me write this properly. It's 160 students. So again, the first thing we're asked to do is to calculate the value of X. To calculate the value of X, we'd have to start out with the knowledge that a circle has a total of 360 degrees. So in this case, X would be equal to 360 minus 45. That looks like plus 67.5. Plus 90 plus 135. So in other words, we'd have to add up the angles of all the other sector angles and subtract that from 360. So we have 360 minus, let's add, we have 45 plus 67.5 plus 90 plus 135. So this is 7.5 degrees. And you take this away from 360. So X, which is the sector angle representing guava, is 22.5 degrees. So X is equal to 22.5 degrees. Here it is. What fraction of the students selected pineapple as their favorite fruit? What fraction of the students selected pineapple as their favorite fruit? So the sector angle representing pineapple is 67.5 degrees out of 360 degrees. So that is the answer. What we'd probably try and do is to see if we can reduce this. So we have 67.5 divided by 360. All right. All right. I guess one of you'd have to use your calculator. All right, and so 67.5 degrees out over 360 reduces to 3 out of 16. So what fraction of the students selected pineapple as their favorite fruit? The answer is 3 out of 16. Then we're asked how many students selected pineapple. So 3/16 of the total number of students selected pineapple. But if you want to find out the number of students, that would be 3/16 of the total number of students, which is 160. And so that is 30 students. So 30 students out of the 160 students. First of all, what fraction selected pineapple? That is 3/16. What number of the number of students who selected pineapple would be 3/16 out of the 160, which turns out to be 30 students. The next thing we're asked is, what is the mode fruit? So the mode fruit would be the fruit that, that most students selected. And looking at the diagram, you can clearly see that the mode fruit is mango. Mango has the largest sector angle, and that is therefore saying that that mango is the favorite fruit. It's the fruit that most students selected. So the mode fruit is mango. The mode is mango. Now, here's what we're asked lastly. What is the probability of randomly selecting a student whose favorite fruit is mango? What is the probability of randomly selecting a student whose favorite fruit is mango? So the probability of selecting mango is equal to 135 degrees out of 360 degrees. Another way you could have done this is to find out the number of students who selected mango and put that over 160. It would work out to be the same. Mango is 135 degrees divided by 360. I think 45 goes into this, 3 times? And 45 goes into this 8 times. So this is 3 out of 8. So the probability of selecting mango is 3 out of 8, which is 0.375 or 37.5%. So there's a 37.5% chance that a student from this group would have selected mango as their favorite fruit. All right, example 13 says, at an art class, students were asked to state their favorite color. The results are shown in the table below. So we have the colors and we have the number of students. 9 students said they like red. 12 students said they like orange, 15 students green, 18 students said yellow, and 6 students said blue. So here's what we're asked. How many students are in the class? Well, that is easy. N is equal to the sum of the frequency, which is 9 plus 12 plus 15 plus 18 plus 6, whatever that is. So that's 9 plus 12 plus 15 plus 18 plus 6. So there's a total of 60 students in the class. Then it says, what is the probability of randomly selecting a student for whom yellow is his or her favorite color? So the probability for yellow of a student selecting yellow is equal to 18 out of 60, or 0.3 or 30%. So there's a 30% chance of randomly selecting a student from the class for whom yellow is their favorite color. This says the data above are to be represented on a pie chart, where to calculate the size of the sector angle that represents, or the sector angle representing each color. So let's start out with red. First of all, 9 students out of the 60 students preferred red. So that is the fraction of the group, or fraction of the total number of students who preferred red. If you multiply this now by 360, you will get the sector angle that's represented in red. So 60 goes into 360 6 times, and 6 times 9 is 54. So red on your pie chart is going to be represented by a sector with a sector angle of 54 degrees. Orange is 12 students out of 60 times 360. So 12 goes into 60 5 times, 5 into 360. I think this is 72 degrees. So orange will be represented by a sector with a sector angle of 72 degrees. Then green is 18 out of 60 times 360. No, green is not 18, it's 15. All right, so I think this is 1/4, and 1/4 of 360 is 2 degrees. All right, so after that, now we have yellow. Now, what I notice is this, yellow is 18, and 18 is 2 times 9. Remember, orange was 9 students. Yellow is 18 students. So here's the issue. If you double the data, you're actually going to double the sector angle. So red, which is 9 students, is being represented by a sector with a sector angle of 54 degrees. Yellow, which is 18 students, is going to be represented by a sector angle of 2 times 104. So yellow is going to be 100, represented by a sector angle, a sector with a sector angle of 180 degrees. The idea here is that if you double the angle, if you double the data, you're going to double the sector angle that is representing the data. So red, 9 students, which is represented by 54, a sector with a sector angle of 54 degrees. Yellow, which is double that amount, 18 students, is going to be represented by a sector with a sector angle of 108 degrees. Similarly, blue which is 6 students. All right. Now orange is 12, and orange, which is 12 students, is represented by a sector with a sector angle of 72 degrees. Blue, which is 6 students, is going to be represented by a sector angle, which is half that amount. So this yellow would have been 54 degrees times 2, which is 108 degrees. And the blue would be 72 degrees divided by 2, which is 36 degrees, sorry. Now, if we add up all these angles, we should get back 360 degrees. If we add up these angles, we should get back 360 degrees. All right, next we're told this says using a radius of 4 centimeters, we're to construct a pie chart to represent the information. All right, so I'm going to draw my circle. What I normally do, well, first of all, they said that the radius of the circle should be 4 centimeters. So I normally start out with the center. Then I normally draw the first radius. All right. So that's the center, that's the first radius. Let us assume that this is 4 centimeters, because that's what they said. You would have had your ruler, so you can measure it to ensure that you get 4 centimeters. Then you would put the metal tip of your compass at the center of the circle. Put the pencil point at the other end of the radius and draw your circle. So I'm going to draw my circle. All right, having a look at technical issues. All right, because I don't have a compass that can be used on this thing. So I'm just going to try and do the best that I can. All right. So let us just say, for argument's sake, that this is a nice, perfect circle. All right, so let us say that this is my circle. That's the center, and that the radius is 4 centimeters. Now, what we normally do is that we're going to put on the different sector angles. We have what, 54 degrees. I normally start from the smallest to the largest. So I would start with 36 degrees. That's 54. This is 72. This is 90. And this is 108. So I normally start from the smallest to the largest. And the smallest sector angle is 36 degrees. So I put my protractor at the center. And I measure off 36 degrees. The center of the protractor goes to the center of the circle. The 0 line on the protractor goes to 0. Goes to the 0 line, goes on the last line that I just draw, the radius that I just draw, and I measure off 36 degrees, 10, 20, 30, 35, and this for me is 36. Need to do this over. 35, 36. So I just line up that to the center of my circle. I draw my line until it reaches the circumference. Then I stop. All right, and that is my line. This is 36 degrees, and this is representing blue. Now, the last line I draw is going to become my new zero line. The last line I draw is going to become my new zero line. You are not seeing the protractor because I don't have the technology that allows me to do that. And I'm going to put on the next sector angle, which is 72 degrees, no, 54 degrees. Remember, the last line that I draw always become my new zero line. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, that's 54. So I simply just line this up with the center, line up that mark that I made with the center, draw my line. And I have my 54 degrees. And 54 degrees is represented red. All right, so 54 and 36 is 90. You'll notice that that really does look like 90 degrees. The next angle after 54 is 72 degrees. Remember, the last line is going to become my new zero line. So I'm going to my 70 degrees now, 72 degrees. Line up my thing. I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 72 would put me around there. All right, so next I just line up. All right, that's it. That is my 72 degrees. Maybe I should do that over. Line up the mark with my center, and I draw the line until it goes to the circumference. I stop. All right, and this is 72 degrees, and 72 degrees is represented orange. All right, the next greater angle is 90 degrees. The last line becomes my new zero line. So 90 degrees from there would put me around here. Then I simply line up that marker with the center, and I draw the line until it gets to the circumference. All right, do it again. All right. And this is 90 degrees. 90 degrees correspond with green. All right, now, once you have done all the others, the last one you don't have to measure. It should automatically fit in as long as you do you did your thing properly. And this is 108 degrees. And this is yellow. And this is what your pie chart should look like.